Oh, snap. Wake up, stand up, and snap out of it. Take the risk right out of it. Wake up, stand up, snap out of it. Change your mind, begin again. Just snap.
Hang on a second, I need to get my box. I always travel with my box. I mean, life is so much better in the box, right? I mean, who wants to try something that you've never done before? Who wants to take a risk? And I mean, listen, the box is not really all that bad. I mean, look what I can do in my box. Now, who is ready to get out of their box? Who's ready? Huh? Are you ready to get out? Well, let me see you. You got to kick that box to the curb. Stand up. Come on. Come on, Callie. Let's go. Come on. Come on, get on up here. Come on. Come on, later. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Right here. Right here. Out of your box. Come on. Come on. Don't make me come get you. Come on, darling. Come on. Come on. Get out of your box, meeting planners. Let's go. Woo! Come on. Come on. 'Cause I'm happy. Happiness is the truth. 'Cause I'm clap along. Right here. Come on. All right, you got saved. Good job, you guys. Well, I thank you for playing along because actually the slide advanced way before it was supposed to. There was a whole bit before that. But that's fine. That's what you do. You got to get out of your box. Well, listen, today my goal is to get you to snap, to help you see new achievable possibilities in your life. And my intent is that you hear something that causes you to leave this conference happier, healthier, and far more alive than you were before you walked in. And my promise is this, that when you snap, you will find your spotlight and you will confidently stand in it. Can I get a snap? Yes. Can I get a snap? Yes. All right. Well, listen, the first thing that you've got to do, the very first thing that you've got to do, if you are going to see new achievable possibilities, is you've got to see why your box sucks. Okay? You've got to see why your box sucks. And that should be intuitive, right? It should just be obvious why the box sucks. But when you're in the box, you don't realize that you've lost your voice. You've given up your power of choice. You don't realize that living a sucky life is not normal. So you've got to see how you are keeping yourself stuck in the box. And you know how you're keeping yourself stuck in the box? You're doing it with just one little word. And that word is no. No, I can't do that. No, that's impossible. Actually, I'm certain that some of you are using two words. Some of you are saying, hell no, I am not getting up on stage and dancing with you, right? And some of you have been in the box so long that you've even lost your ability to speak these full word sentences. I mean, I was in the hall and I was listening to this conversation. I really didn't understand it, but it went something like this. The CVB's DOS needs a copy of the BEO and the TNM to go with the ROI. Contact the CMP's MOD. Let them know that the speaker's ETA is TBD. But I need the EDT on the PA, the AV, and the LEDs ASAP. And I was like, WTF? What the Friday, you know? So what you've got to see is that in order to get out of the box, all you have to do is start saying yes. Yes, where you would typically say no. And some of you that did not want to get up and dance, you see that sometimes when you say yes, it's scary, but you feel alive, right? Recently, my husband asked me to go skydiving. And my inside voice said, "Are you smoking crack?" No, I do not want to go skydiving. But my outside voice said, "Well, sure, yes, I will go do that with you." And he was so excited that he ran off and he booked it for that following weekend. Now listen, my hands started to perspire, my stomach goes into a knot, and I understand wanting to stay in the box, because I not only wanted to stay in the box, I wanted to wrap myself in bubble wrap, stick myself in a box, and put myself in a bigger box, right? I did not want to go up on that plane. Scared to death, so I do what we all do when we're scared. Started Googling how many people died jumping out of a plane, right? But I found this. It's really quite safe to jump out of a plane. Did you know this? Only 1 in 100,000 people die jumping out of a plane, as opposed to 1 in 6,000 people who die driving to work every day. This is a true fact. So I'm thinking that we should all just start parachuting into work. I mean, it'd be a lot safer to do that, right? Well, the weekend comes all too soon, and we are up in that plane with a bunch of crazy people. I mean, they are laughing, they are high-fiving, bodies are being sucked out the back of that plane. And all of a sudden, I hear my jump master, and he says, "All right, DeDe, move to the back of the plane." And I said, "Where all those bodies are being sucked out? No, I'm good. I am good right here." But then all of a sudden, I felt my body start to involuntarily move towards the back of the plane, right? And I looked down, and I'm strapped to him tighter than a helpless baby to its mama's chest. So, I mean, I am going out the back of that plane, right? And now I'm looking around for Rick, my husband, and I'm thinking, where is he? And, yeah, I find him. Behind me, waving at me. I mean, look, we've never done this before, but he's going to let me go first, right? What a gentleman. And just as we go flying out the door, I'm screaming, "Ah!" First thought in my head was this: DeDe, do not pee, because the way you are falling, you are going to pee up all over your instructor. So do not do that. But here's the thing. I loved it. I loved it so much that we jumped again and again and again. And what I realized is this, that when you say yes, when you typically would say no, you feel not only alive, but you feel empowered. You feel confident. And what you're telling yourself is this: I can handle life. I can handle the adversities. I'm strong. Mistakes and failures are not bad. But when you stay in your seat, you stay in the box, you stay in the plane, you were saying, no. Life is too hard for me. I'm too small. I'm not smart enough. I'm not talented enough. I'm not capable. If you're going to snap out of it and see new achievable possibilities, you've got to start saying yes. Now I want you to look at your own life. Tell me the truth. How many of you right now could say, "Listen, yes, I probably do say no more than I should"? How many of you? Good. And the other ones of you are sitting there and you're saying, "Oh, come on, DeDe. Of course I would love to get out of the box. I really would. And I've tried. But every time I step out, I mean, there's something that absolutely holds me back." And you know what I would say about that? I would say, I agree. I agree with you, because as I travel around and I speak to tens of thousands of people, I realize that there is something that absolutely holds all of us back. It's this common core, this common theme, this common obstacle. And it comes on slowly at first, very quietly actually, but over time, it turns up the volume until it drowns out that small little voice inside of you that says, jump for Pete's sakes! And do you know what that obstacle is? It is regret. Now, I don't know. Maybe this is the one group that has no regrets. You guys have no regrets in here? None whatsoever? Well, the University of Illinois did a study on regret. They wanted to see, does regret really hamper our happiness, hamper our success? They had 370 people in the study, all from the ages of 18 to 103. Various levels of socioeconomic background, a very good group. What they found was that this group was split right down the middle. The first group had regrets for decisions that they had made. They had spoken up, they had stepped out, and they felt that this action was wrong. They felt like they had failed. They wished they hadn't have done it. But the second group was the more interesting group. This was the group who thought about stepping up. They thought about speaking up. They thought about going for that goal, going for that dream, but then they did nothing. And what they found was this is the group who held on to the regret the longest. It was the regret that plagued them throughout their lives. It is the regret that caused them the most emotional pain. And the thing about it is, when we have emotional pain, our eyes are taken from our goals and our dreams, and they are put firmly on whatever it takes to drown out that voice of regret. Now let me ask you, does anybody have that type of regret? They regret not stepping forward, not stepping up. Anybody? Yeah, I know that type of regret too. Because you see, as a little girl, I wanted to be on Broadway. So every night, Barbra Streisand and Judy Garland and I, we would go into my room, we would entertain adoring fans for hours on end, right? People who need people. Oh my gosh, I loved it so much. I loved it so much that I started taking acting lessons, voice lessons, dance lessons. And I was in all the musicals throughout junior high and high school, went to Europe on a vocal scholarship, and I even won a coveted vocal scholarship to the same college that Kristen Chenoweth attended. You guys know Kristen Chenoweth, Broadway star Kristen Chenoweth? We're both from Oklahoma. We both went to the same college, but something was very different about Kristen's life and my life. You see, Kristen, she had this goal and this dream, and she stepped forward. She stepped into her spotlight, and I sat back and I said, oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't think I have what it takes. I don't think I have the talent. I don't know. Would you look at all the talent in this room? And then all of a sudden, this voice started in my head, and it sounded a whole lot like Betty Davis. And Betty said, oh, DeDe, darling, yes, I know you were born to entertain, but how entertaining is it going to be when you never get picked for a part? Oh, yes. And DeDe, listen, I mean, do you really think that you can handle the rejection and the criticism of New York City? I mean, you're just not that confident, girl. And yes, people do talk about living your passion and your purpose, but DeDe, I want you to think bigger, bigger, bigger. I want you to think passion, profit, and power. And I know I should have told Betty to bite me. But I listened to her and I believed her. And I have to admit that in my corporate sales career, I was very successful and I did amazing things. But I could never, ever silence That voice inside my head that said, DeDe, why? Why? Why would you listen to Betty over you? Why would you give up everything you love? Why would you sit on your talent and your abilities? DeDe, why? And I started looking for a way, and I'm talking any way, to silence that voice of regret, and nothing ever worked. Nothing. Until the day that I met this rich, bold, dark Mr. Cabernet Sauvignon. All the voices gone, just like that. And for the next 24 years, I became an alcoholic, a blackout drinker, a 3-bottle-a-night drinker. Yes, I know what you're thinking. Dang, she looks good. No, what you're really thinking is this. All right, no, wait a second, DeDe. I mean, I've got that kind of regret, but is it really that big a deal? DeDe, do I really need to let it go? And here's what I would say to you from my experience. Every day that I did not, and every day that you do not jump, every day that you do not turn around, look your fear in the eye, and say, what is it? Is another day that you add regret upon regret upon regret until it becomes an anchor around your ankles and you are trapped in the box. So if you are going to snap out of it, if you are going to see new achievable possibilities in your business, in your life, then you must drop kick your regret. You've got to let go of those mistakes. You've got to let go of those failures so that you can see today, right where you are, new ways to use your talent, new ways to use your skills, new ways to inspire people, new ways to be creative and innovative. That's what you must do. You must drop kick your regrets. Now, listen, I don't want you to walk out of here without the opportunity to do that. All right? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to find a partner, okay? You got people sitting beside you, somebody that might have good breath, okay? You're going to talk to them for just a second. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to turn around and look at them, and I want you to say, now listen, we got to do, both of you guys have got to do this, okay? And we got to do it quickly because I only have 3 hours up here, okay? So I want to do it quickly. And here's what I want you to say. I want you to say, the thing that I regret is, okay? And your partner is going to validate you. They are really going to listen to you. They're going to look you in the eye. But when you're finished, they're going to put their hands on your shoulders. They're going to gently shake you and say, snap out of it, okay? You got 30 seconds. Go. Let me hear those snap out of it. All right, 10 seconds. Hurry. Shake those shoulders. Awesome job. Good job. All right, you got it? Everybody had a chance? All right, so let's get honest for a second, can we? Let's just get honest for a moment. Telling someone to snap out of it doesn't really do any good, so just don't ever do it again, okay? But here are 3 things that really will help you work through your regret. And the first is stop it. Stop telling yourself that woulda, coulda, shoulda story. Oh, I'd be so much happier if I would have been a buyer instead of a meeting planner. Oh gosh, I should have become a doctor. And if I just married Bill, I'd be so much happier. All right, so listen, you got to stop telling yourself that story, because unless you have a time machine to get back there, that is just keeping you from doing what you want to do today. So stop those stories that you're telling yourself. The next thing is you've got to lose it. You got to lose your excuses about why you can't step out of your box, right? Oh, I'm so tired, my job. You just walk around singing your victim song. You've got this, I'm an event slave, it's all about your needs. It's too hot, it's too cold, and my feet are killing me. They have no money, so they want it for free. These are the reasons I drink heavily. I fake excitement to hear what you have to say. It's not what you ordered. Oh, I'll fix it right away. If I could just share what is here on my mind, I tell that committee to kiss my behind. No more coffee. Eat what I serve you. I'm tired of being kind. I don't give a rip how far you had to walk. I've got to go pee, but no time. Right? You know that victim? That victim song? You gotta stop singing your victim song. And the last thing is, use it, okay? Use your regret, because you know how it feels today to regret not stepping out there, not speaking up. You know that fear is way smaller than you made it out to be. So use your regret to keep making another choice. And let me just say this about freedom of choice. It should empower us to know that we have the freedom to build our lives and our businesses any way that we want, right? But I will tell you this, that freedom of choice is one thing that paralyzes people the most. It is the one thing that lures us into the box. Why? Because we do not know if the choice we are about to make is the perfect choice or not. And we've got to keep making choice after choice after choice, because life doesn't come with a crystal ball. And the only thing you need to snap out of it, to see new achievable possibilities, is big balls of courage. Big balls of courage, that's all you need to snap out of it. Now, who needs balls of courage? Who needs balls of courage today? If you have the courage to grab my balls, you can come get it right now. Come on, come on. There you go. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Anybody else need a ball of courage? Come on up here. You got to come grab the ball. All right, there you go. Thank you so much. Now, there's some of you that absolutely have no intention of getting out of your box, right? You're like, I am not getting out of my box, and I'm not grabbing any balls, okay? Just not going to do it. But here's the thing. Even if you have no intention of getting out of your box, life does have a way of helping you to get out. Because you see, I had no intention of stopping my drinking, no intention of all, until a Friday the 13th. And I was at a business conference in Austin, Texas. And at the time, I was engaged to be married. My fiance and I were in the same industry, so we were at the same conference together, and I chose that night to have 13 glasses of wine. Now, up to this point, my fiancé had done just about everything he could to distract me from my drinking. But of course, I do not have a drinking problem. Would you look at me? I am a professional woman. Is it really that big of a deal that I pass out every night? So you see, I kept trying to bargain with that box because I was certain that he would always still be there. But the morning after my act like a fool, pass out on the table, drink fest, everything had changed. He held up his hands, he had snapped, and he said, I am done. Aren't you grateful for those people in your life, those people in the world who are willing to snap, who are willing to say, I'm not going to live a boxed-in life. And make no mistake, there is an epidemic of disengaged, distracted, boxed-in people. Today's statistics show that 70% go to work every single day totally disengaged. They could give a rip-a-doodle. They do not care about their job. And that disengagement is costing the American economy between $450 and $550 billion a year in creativity, productivity, innovation. And it's costing us as a human being the ability to feel fully alive. And I wonder, how long is it going to be before we feel absolutely nothing at all? And I see the evolution of the human being. Since we've decided, you know what, feelings, who needs to feel? This part of our body that houses our heart center, our feeling center, is just going to stop developing. And because we love to stay in our head and sing our victim song, think about our woulda, coulda, shouldas, our head's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Eventually, we'll just be a giant head sitting on top of a butt. We will be an entire society of butt heads. Does anybody know a butt head? Huh? Do you? Are they in the room with you? Let's just go ahead and point them out right now. Let's just get really uncomfortable right here, shall we? Well, I have to say that the person who wasn't a butthead and the person who helped snap me out of it and change my life, change the trajectory of my success, was that fiancé of mine. And I have to publicly thank him because he did end up sticking with me. He happens to be my husband today. He's here with me, and one of the main reasons that I'm standing here on stage today. So, yeah. Honey, I just want to say I'm so glad you finally snapped out of it. But you know what? If you are going to see new achievable possibilities, you've got to learn how to use your clicker. Okay? That's just all I got to say about that. If you're going to see new achievable possibilities, you've got to surround yourself with the right people. Do you know what I'm talking about? You've got to have good people. People who will allow you to fail, but they will tell you, get your butt back up. People who will hold you accountable, right? You've got to surround yourself with amazing people. Every single one of you today, every one of you sitting right here, right now, has someone in your life. Someone, whether that be in your family, whether that was in your school, whether that's in your job, right now, you have the name of somebody that has helped move you in a different direction. Do you not? Do you have the name? Because I'm going to count to 3, and then we're going to yell that name out. Okay, and I want you to use first and last because it has good rhythm, doom, da-doom. Okay? You got the name? You got the name? No, listen, you guys have all got to participate because, if you, sir, yell it out and nobody else does, then you're really going to regret doing that. And I don't want to add to your regret. Okay? All right, so you got the name? First and last. I'm going to count to 3 and we're going to yell it out. That person that's helped snap you out of it. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give that about a 7. About a 7. I think we could get it to a 10, don't you think? I think we could get it up to a 10. Now listen, because I'm a singer and I'm a speaker, and Kristen Chenoweth says this in her book. She says, listen, if you really want more power and you really want to be able to project, you've got to do it from your hoo-hoo. Okay? Yeah? Kristen says that. That's what she says. So get that power way down and then just belt it out. We're going to go for a 10 on this name. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Much better. That's much better. Those are the type of people that you want on your team in life. All right, now listen, every time I say the word team, I think baseball, don't you? Do we have any baseball fans in here? Yeah? Well, who's your team? Who is it? Phillies, Royals, who? The Rockies. Well, as you just saw, I kind of gave it up, but my favorite team in the whole wide world are the New York Yankees. Yes, I know. I always get the boos. Oh, stop it. But here's the reason why. My uncle happens to be Bobby Murcer, and my uncle played for the New York Yankees. He played with some of the greats. He played with Mickey Mantle. He played with the late Yogi Berra. He played with Thurman Munson. And so I was born a Yankee fan. And I love teams because they teach us so much about how to keep stepping out of the box. But here's what I know from having a very up-close and personal relationship with a professional athlete is this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're a speaker, a meeting planner, a buyer, a partner, or a professional athlete. We all have the exact same challenges in life. We all have to deal with making the right choice. We all have to deal with letting go of our regret. We all have roadblocks, setbacks, and failures. But what makes the impossible possible? Certainly it was in my life, and I know that many of you will agree, are the people that are around you. It's your team. And I saw this so clearly back in 1979. Back in 1979, my Uncle Bobby and Thurman Munson were playing for the New York Yankees. Thurman was the catcher of the Yankees, and he was also the team captain, the last captain that they had before Derek Jeter. And he was the team captain because he was an out-of-the-box player. He had fight. He had grit. Every single time he went out there, he left it all on the field, and the guys loved Thurman. When Thurman played and they played, they were better for it. But at the height of his career, at the age of 32, Thurman was killed in a tragic plane crash. The owner of the Yankees flew them all to the funeral in Canton, Ohio, where my uncle delivered the eulogy that day. But the Yankees had to immediately get back on the plane and head back to New York City because they had a game that night with the Baltimore Orioles. On the plane, Yankee manager Billy Martin turned to my uncle and he said, "Listen, Bobby, I think we're going to sit you out tonight. I think we're going to just let you rest. You've been up all week." And Bobby turned to Billy and he said, "No, Billy, I'm not going to sit the game out. That is not what my friend Thurman would do. I'm going to play this game, and I'm going to play this game in his honor." So they played him. And of course, the Yankees are down emotionally, they're down physically, and they're down in the score. It's the bottom of the 7th inning, and they are losing 4-0 against the Baltimore Orioles. There are 2 outs. There are 2 men on base, and there are 2 strikes at the bottom of the 7th inning, and my uncle is up to bat. Now, I think it's very important to note this, that in this series, he had not had a hit. He had been up to bat 15 times and hadn't had a hit. But he loved Thurman, and he had this vision. So he stood there, and when he got his pitch, he stepped forward, he connected with the ball, and went back, way back. Oh my gosh, yes, it's a 3-run home run. Now that team is on fire. The spirits have been lifted in that stadium. They're still down 1 run. Now it is the bottom of the 9th. It is the last chance for the Yankees. There are 2 men on base. Happens to be the same 2 guys that were on base in the 7th inning. And guess who steps up to bat? My Uncle Bobby. And he waited until he got his pitch. He swung and went right down the third base line. Here comes the tying run. Oh my gosh, yes, it's a tie ball game. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes the next run. Yes, the Yankees win. Oh my gosh, the Yankees win that game. They weren't even going to play him. Now, how did Bobby achieve what he did that night? Number 1, he had an amazing team around him. He could never have done what he did on his own. You can succeed faster and farther with the right team around you. Pick your team. It makes a huge difference if you want to see new achievable possibilities. Number 2, he chose to play the game. He chose to get in the game. Listen, you can come up with the best excuse in the world why you can't get out of that box, why you can't do something. But just because you have a great excuse, you don't have to use it. Number 3, he kept his eye firmly on what he wanted to achieve. He did not look at those other 15 times that he failed. Keep your eye on your goal and your vision, because your failures, your mistakes, they do not determine your future unless you decide they do. And lastly, he allowed his pain to push him forward instead of shut him down and bench him. To see new achievable possibilities, to see possibilities in your life. Yes, you have to have a goal, but you know what else you have to have? A goal that excites you. A goal that excites you, that has some sort of an emotional component to it, because if it doesn't excite you, it's just another thing to check off your to-do list, right? So when I ask people, what is it that excites you? People are like, well, let's see. Nothing really. Nothing excites me. And I say, oh, baloney. I say, baloney. Now listen, this is the time that I would tell you to go back. I would tell you to go back, way back when you were a kid. You remember that? Remember back when you were a kid? You know, right? When you were willing to dream, you were willing to act things out, you were willing to be bold, because somewhere in there is a talent, is this incredible ability that you can bring into your life today. You see, when I was a kid, and we would travel around to watch my uncle play baseball, you know what excited me? It was the national anthem singer. I mean, when the national anthem singer got out there, I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. I want to sing the national anthem for the New York Yankees. Yeah, I do. But then, of course, you know how my life went. But in 2008, my sweet Uncle Bobby, who was still doing the announcing for the Yankees, died of a brain tumor. And when that happened, I remembered that vision. I remembered wanting to sing the national anthem for the New York Yankees, and I really connected to how much I would love to do it to honor my uncle. So I just started going around the house singing the national anthem all the time, right? Just singing. I was really getting excited. And let me say this. When you get excited about a vision or a dream, people come out of nowhere to help you get there. They will come out of left field, right? You know this. When you get excited about something, people are like, yeah, what are you doing? I don't know what you're doing, but I just want to do it with you, right? So you've got to get really excited about your dream. And this is what happened to me. It was 2009, and the Yankees are playing in the World Series against the Philadelphia Phillies, right? And Rick and I are getting ready to watch it on TV, so we're getting all Yankeed up, right? We got our Yankee hats on, our Yankee shirts. I got my Yankee bracelet, my Yankee earrings, and we put the dogs in their Yankee shirts, right? We're getting ready to watch it. And I hear Rick yell at me from the other end of the house, and he says, DeDe, I want you to sing the national anthem for the New York Yankees tonight. And I said, what? And he said, can you come in here for a second? And I walked in our dining room, and he's got this mock stadium set up for me. I mean, it was so precious. It was complete with Yankee fans and everything. I mean, it was just candlesticks with Yankee hats on it. But I mean, it really, it was really cool. And he's got the video camera. And he said, now listen, DeDe, I want to do this professionally. Right? And so let me announce you, and then I want you to belt this out, okay? And I said, well, okay. And so he turns on the video camera, and he says, ladies and gentlemen, will you direct your attention to the dining room where the niece of the late, great Bobby Murcer will now be performing tonight's national anthem. And he gave me the cue, and I belted it out, and he produced it and threw it out there on YouTube for everybody to see, right? And it was just so great. And well, being the box jumper that my husband is, he said, now here's what else we're going to do, DeDe. He said, we're going to send it to that new publicist of yours and let her send it to the New York Yankees. What? Oh my gosh. I mean, I'm telling you, wanting to get back in the box. And then all of a sudden, I heard this knock on the door. And you know who it was? Betty Davis. It was Betty Davis, and she was carrying this big old box with her. And I just turned around and I said, oh, no, you don't, Betty. You get the snap out of here. And I just kicked that door closed just like that. Let me tell you something. When you get closer and closer and closer to living your goal, reaching your dream, Betty is going to come knocking on your door, right? She's going to try to distract you, try to get you back in the box. So you have got to learn to Betty-proof your dreams. You know how you do that? You know how you Betty-proof your dream? You do it just 3 to 5 minutes every day. How many of you got 3 to 5 minutes? Everybody's got 3 to 5 minutes. You go to the bathroom, at least, right? You got 3 to 5 minutes every day. So here's what I want you to do. You've got to really create that vision. You've got to create it to the point that you cannot tell reality from your vision. Do you know what I mean? It's got to look and smell and feel. It's got to be so real. You are right there in it. Every single day, I would go out in my backyard and I'd get in my swing. But in my mind, I was in Yankee Stadium. Oh my gosh, this place is huge. The green diamond was so bright, and I could smell that freshly painted New York Yankee emblem. Oh my gosh. You see, you've got to make it real. But here's the kicker. Do not create your vision without your fear. Don't get all in your vision and forget to take your fear with you. This is important because the thing about it is, what happens in life is when we build this vision board, we do whatever we do to make our visions real, and then the opportunity presents itself, we get anxious, we start feeling fear, and the first thought in our head is this: I'm not ready. I can't do this. And before you know it, you are back in the box. You are ready. You are ready, but it makes it so much better when you prepare with your fear and your anxiety. Every single day that I was in my swing, I would feel really feel my stomach go into knots. I would feel my cotton mouth as I walked up to sing the national anthem. But I would see and I would feel myself succeeding with that fear. Do you get that? Take your fear with you into your vision, because when opportunity knocks, you do not want to answer the door naked. Okay? It's not a good vision for some of you. Okay? Do not answer the door naked. Well, in 2011, I'm at home and I'm waiting to talk to my publicist because we have this phone call every week. And I have the worst case of food poisoning, right? So as soon as the phone rings, I just pick it up and I say, listen, Kelly, could you call me back tomorrow because I am really, really sick? And she says, DeDe, the Yankees called. They want you to come to New York next month. They want you to come sing the national anthem. And I said, what? What? Oh my gosh. I said, is this a joke? I mean, because I'm not feeling well. And she said, it's not any joke. We are jumping up and down, screaming and yelling. Food poisoning, gone. Just like that. Well, it was an amazing moment in my life. That day that I went to New York, as soon as my feet hit that field, I just started to cry because I was literally standing in the middle of my dream. And as I look back and I think, how did I do what I did that day? And the question is, how do you get out of your box and do that thing that you think you cannot do? All you have to do is get up every single day. Get up every single day and see why your box sucks. Get up every day and decide that you're going to drop kick that regret. You're going to let go of your mistakes. You're going to let go of your failures. Make certain that you have the people around you that will help you get to where you want to be. They're not your yes people. They're the people who will tell you the truth and challenge you to take that next step. Get up every day and say, hell yes. Yes to life, and dare to dream again. That is all you have to do. Or, if you can't seem to stay out of the box, you can also go to my website. This is absolutely free. You can sign up for my Snap Moments, and I will gladly be on your team. I will gladly help you stay inspired every single week. But before we go, I have to say this. There is one more step, and I think it's one of the most important steps there is. And that is, you've got to share. You've got to share your voice. You've got to share your talents. You've got to share your time, your struggles and your triumphs, because success is not just about me and you accomplishing what we want to accomplish in life. Success is about helping others find their spotlight and step in it too. Can I get a snap yes? You see, sometimes finding your voice and discovering your power is the most painful thing you will ever do. Sometimes winning your freedom from your regrets, from addictions, from limiting mindsets will take everything you've got and then some. Sometimes the scoreboard in life will say you are about to lose. But if you will stay in the game and stay focused on your dream, what you really love, stay focused, and you keep swinging for that fence, I'm telling you that eventually you will get your pitch and you will hit a 3-run home run. Do you believe that? That's good. Unlimited. Your future is unlimited. Isn't that exciting? But here's the thing. Now it's up to you. Now it's up to you. But you can walk out of here. You can snap. You can see new achievable possibilities. You can stand in your spotlight and you can say, I was here. I heard it said that people come into our life for a reason, bringing lessons we must learn, and we are led to those who help us grow the most if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I am who I am today because I knew you. Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the world. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you, I'm starting at this. I've been changed for good. It may well be that we will never meet again in this lifetime. So let me say before we part, so much of me is made of what I've learned from you, and you'll be with me like a handprint on my heart. And who can say which way our stories end? But I know mine's been rewritten by you being my friend. Like a ship blown from its mooring off the winds of the sea, like a seed dropped from a skybird in a distant world. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I've been changed for good. And just to clear the air, I ask forgiveness for things I've done you blame me for. And yes, I know there's blame to share, but somehow it just doesn't matter anymore. Like a comet pulled from of the wind on the sea, like a seed of a skybird in a distant world. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But I do believe that I've been changed for the better, because I knew you. Because I knew you, I've been changed Thank you guys for changing my life today. Thank you.